So here's a project that was just brought to me today. I'm going to be painting this little Geo Tracker here. So here's a look at some of the work that I've done to the Geo so far. I've got most of the panels sanded, and as you can see, I've got this fender painted here. And I'm just going to be doing it panel by panel. I've got the grill out because it was busted up pretty bad, so I went ahead and ordered another one. The bumpers, however, look good, so I'll be restoring those. It's supposed to rain, and I'm just going to go ahead and sand this hood and fender tonight, so that way I can get it painted once the rain lets off. You can see here that I painted the wiper arms. They were really rusty, and I've got the door painted on this side, and I'm going to be painting the rear quarter panels all at the same time with the top off once the rain lets up. So alright, I've got the hood sanded now, and there was no clear coat left on it except where this wind deflector here was on the front, and I just went ahead and leveled it out. You can see that the paint was starting to come off in these areas here since it had no UV protection. So I just went ahead and smoothed it all out, and it's ready to paint. The type of paint that I'm using allows me to go right over this original paint and primer, and you won't ever know. So here's the front grille. I'd removed it since it was just flopping around in there because it has some broken tabs on it. So I thought it would also be easier to paint it this way and get in there to some of these places to sand this old clear coat off. But the more I got to looking at it, you know, with these broken tabs and everything, and also there's like a huge chunk of it missing here. Someone tried to glue it back together at one time in fiberglass. It just wasn't worth the effort to try and mess with this thing. So I just went ahead and ordered a new one here. And later today I'm going to try and scuff this down, and it's going to be painted flat black, so then we can get it on there. I've also ordered some new clips so that way this thing won't be flopping around in there anymore. Alright, I just finished painting the bumper, and I used a special bumper and trim paint so that way it's flexible and adheres well to these plastic bumpers. That way it won't chip off in the future. And I also got the new grille painted. Now I'm getting ready to install it, and first I need to install these new clips that I bought. You can see I've got one here, and they just go up and snap right in like that. Here's today's project. I just finished painting the tailgate, and it turned out excellent. I got the spare tire holder painted flat black, and I also did the tag light cover. Although it was originally body colored, I thought it looked better in flat black. And I'm getting ready to put the spare tire back on. I went ahead and painted it silver, so everything will look like brand new from the rear. There it is with the spare tire back on. I'm going to try and get this bumper cleaned up tonight. So alright, today I'm going to be working on the wheels. I don't want them ruining the appearance of the car once it's repainted. And you can see they look pretty nasty. And I'm going to be replacing this little hub here. And what I'm going to do to restore these wheels is use some 400 grit sandpaper to remove all this old rust and chipped paint. And I'm going to smooth it out. And I'm going to be using a VHT wheel paint, which is a very similar color to what the factory used. I also have two studs here that are different threads than the rest, so I'm going to be replacing those studs. And I'm also replacing all of the lug nuts. So here's the first wheel we're going to be working on today. You can see it's in overall good shape. It just needs to have this cleaned up here where the paint's chipping and smoothed out, and then resprayed so it has its nice shine back again. And I got some 400 grit here that I'm going to be using, and what we're going to be doing is just kind of working it here. And then once you get it all scuffed up really good and everything smoothed out, then we'll be ready to paint it. And you can also see this area here, so I'll be flipping the wheel over and making sure I clean down in there too. And I'll go ahead and take you around here and show you the spare wheel that I've already done. When I'm finished, it should look something like this. And you can also see where I've replaced the lug nuts here. So right now I have my wheel scuffed up and everything is completely smooth. All the dirt and rust is removed. So the next step here is to go ahead and mask it off so I can paint it. So alright, I got the wheel masked up now, and here is the paint that I'm going to be using. VHT high temperature wheel paint in silver, which is a very close match to the original wheel color. And after 3 light coats, this wheel is complete. Alright, the wheel is now ready to put back on the guard, but before I do, I'm going to be inserting this new cover here. And there you have it. We have a freshly painted wheel with brand new lug nuts and a new center cap. So I was trying to remove this wheel so I could paint it, and I ran into this issue here. Whenever I turn this lug nut, the stud turns with it, and while I can get my hand back in behind it, I don't really have any way of holding it. So I thought I would just bring this wrench out and demonstrate to you what's going on. This is not something that you ever like to see. I'm not sure if the stud itself is stripped or the wheel hub is stripped or what's going on, but you can clearly see that the stud is spinning with the nut, and I'm already pretty pressed for time, so this is pretty disappointing to see, and has already taken up more time just messing with it than I'd like. So alright, I got the front wheel off here so that way I can paint it, and I've gone ahead and replaced the 2 studs that someone had replaced in the past but put the wrong thread on, and I've got this one for the other side where it's just spinning around. Hopefully nothing's stripped out. Hopefully someone again has just put the wrong size in there. And everything was going smoothly, but then I got to this wheel over here, and again I'm gonna have to replace the stud because this one here apparently is stripped right at the end here, and so as I'm turning it, it just keeps spinning around. So I'm gonna have to either cut this off or do something to get it out of there so I can replace it. So anyway, I have my ratchet on it now, and here's what it's doing. It's just spinning freely and it won't come off. So again, I'm probably going to have to cut this or do something to get it off there. So alright, with a little bit of prying and twisting, I was able to get the lug off. It destroyed both the lug nut and the stud, but both will be replaced. But it's just things like this that come up when you don't have a lot of time and you're just trying to get things done that make the job just so much harder. So alright, I got the cover off here, and you can see I got the stud removed. Here is the old stud, and here's the one I'm going to be putting in. Now the easiest way to get this cover off here is to use 2 M8125 bolts and screw them into these holes here, and as they go in they'll press right up against this plate and just pop the cover off. So with that new stud installed, I've got the wheel repainted and a new center cap here and all new lug nuts ready to go on. And here's how it looks with everything put back together. So alright, only after getting the wheel back on did I find that there was also a 3rd stud that needed replacement. I have it because I went ahead and bought extras, but you can see here that this one has been stripped. I should have noticed that before I put the wheel back on. But anyway, I'm going to have to replace this one too. So alright, I replaced all the lug nuts and got those 3 studs replaced. and everything looks fantastic now. When the car was first brought in, it was missing a cap on the spare wheel and one of the front wheels, so I went ahead and ordered some more. So alright, here's a quick update on the Geo. I'm almost finished with this thing, and I just thought I'd show you what the paint looks like a little bit. You can see I even painted the thresholds here, so that way you don't have to see that ugly green paint whenever you open the door. Today I refinished the rear bumper, and everything is coming together quite nicely. The only thing I really have left to do is get this wheel off so I can refinish it. You can see that I am drilling it out. I'm finally just now getting around to it. I should have that done tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to finish it before it gets dark. So alright, I finally got this front driver's side wheel off, and here's the stud that I had to drill out. And I don't know if you can see this here, but all the splines are intact, and it is the hub itself that is stripped, allowing the stud to just spin around. Now, before I call the owner and let him know that I'm going to have to replace the hub, I thought that I would just try this stud here. It has a little bit longer and bigger splines, and I thought I would just try and hammer that in there to see if I just can't get this one to hold first. So I put that new stud in there, and it seemed promising at first, but the tighter I got the stud, it just eventually pulled completely out, and it's just spinning around again. Luckily I don't have the wheel on there this time, and I can just take this right off. So alright, last night I was able to get that stud out, and I went ahead and painted the wheel. Now the hub is stripped, so I'll have to see what my options are going forward. I'll have to call the owner and see if he wants to buy a new hub, or he wants me to just pull it and have a machine shop repair it somehow. But as for now, I'm going to just leave it like that and see what he wants to do. So, alright, I'm finally wrapping up this Geo Tracker project. I painted under the hood today, which is something that the owner asked for, and I was able to save the stickers by putting tape over them. Overall, it looks really good. I even painted the prop rod flat black, and we're just about done with this. The only thing I have to do now is clean up the air deflector that was on top of the hood here and get it put back on. Here's the air deflector. I took it off so that way I could paint the hood. And what I'm going to do here is, it had some 3M tape running on the inside and was held in by 4 screws. I'm going to put some new 3M tape on and then screw it back the way it was. And then once I get it mounted, I'll take some cleaner wax and clean this up. So alright, I have the new tape on now, and I'm getting ready to put the deflector back on. I was actually going to ask the owner if he wanted to just delete the thing, because I didn't really particularly like it personally. But now that I see it with this black grill, I think that it actually goes well with it, and I actually like the thing. So anyway, the owner's been over here and he's seen the car and he's very happy with it, and he's going to come back tomorrow and take it home. I got the little Geo finished up last night, and I thought that I would just do a quick walk around before the owner comes this evening to pick it up. You can see I painted the door jambs, and they look pretty good considering I just masked everything off here and painted it the best I could. And I also took these off so that way I could paint behind them, so whenever he tries to remove the roof or anything, you won't see any of that green paint. It will be painted correctly. And here's how the wheels turned out. I replaced 2 of those center caps and all the lug nuts, and then painted the wheels. And I have him a new hub coming, and I'll try and get that put in as soon as possible. I don't like that missing like that, but it'll be fine for now. And then last night I got the bug deflector put on, and I'm going to see if I can't find him a little Geo emblem. I've had no luck so far, but I'll see if I can't find one eventually. And I had to replace just about every stud in this wheel, but it looks nice now. And here's a look at the paint. So alright guys, that's going to do it for this project. Over the next few weeks I'm going to be busy working on my shop, but afterwards I've got a lot of new videos in mind, and for the time being I've actually got more projects like this that I've done videos on that I just haven't published yet, so I may just go ahead and put those on YouTube, and then we'll get back to the Porsche stuff. And anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.